Welcome back to the second half.
Indeed, welcome back. So, got a new scene to start off with. An Inquisitor turns up. No, we'll do that a bit later. So, Garth, one of the things that you've had a chance to do in the past, or over the course of this week of just getting things sorted out on the planet, is there's obviously been this talk about the influence that the core had on the crew, and of course the Astropathic choir is, you know, they were on the ship as well, so some of the ones that stayed here were affected potentially by it. And so now that they're out of its influence, you sort of had a chance to effectively utilize the group knowledge of the choir, effectively, you know, form a telepathic link and sort of sort through the memories and experiences and take some of the data about what happened while you were while the ship was here previously from their subconscious, and sort of tap into the memories that they had. Effectively, because the often what would happen would be the road trader would come and speak with the Astropath as well, and because initially there was some concerns about, once they started to realize the crew was being affected somehow, there were some additional discussions with Kira Falasco, your sort of second in the choir. And then over time, they sort of, the influences made them rationalize what happened and come to an agreement about, oh, this is all good. This is why we should be doing this. But effectively, what you learn from it is that the belief that they had was that this probe they found did originate from Earth or from Mars, or basically from humanity. It's a human probe, pre-Heresy era, and that they actually believe that the intelligence, the artificial intelligence within the core, was actually some spark of divinity, like whether it was the Omnisia or the God Emperor, placed a part of their power into this core and sent it out into the universe to explore, to find human worlds, to work out who the enemies are, and to prepare mankind to confront them as required. And so, while at first they were very concerned about the presence of an AI, they started to sort of rationalize it as, no, well, this is good. This artificial intelligence is a manifestation of the God Emperor's will, and through its influence, they basically came to believe that it knew that enemies were looking for it, that enemies of mankind, enemy of this divinity were coming, and that the only way to defend itself was to bring it to this world where it could build an army to defeat the enemies in their mind of mankind. Taking out the sort of the influence of the core now, there is certainly still this concept that this intelligence is godlike. It is not. It's not a simple machine intelligence. Something about it. There is a deeper mind to it. It's not just a very intelligent core designed to explore. It's actually got some will, some end game, and it does believe that the way to defend itself is to build an army on this planet. So I will let you discuss that with other members of the crew as required while I finish eating my lunch.
Now, is that heretical at all?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. I mean, there is no precedent within the ecclesiarchy about how the God Emperor could put his will into a machine, other than the fact that, like, there's arguments over whether the Omnisia and the God Emperor are the same being. Certainly, a lot of the times they're revered separately, but that in itself would sort of breach the imperial creed anyway. So the sort of like the Mechanicus exists unattested because the ecclesiarchy say, well, yes, they do worship a different god, but it's really just our god in a different form.
Yeah, originally the whole reason why the Treaty of Olympus happened is the emperor was able to, it was a Titan or something. He touched it. Essentially, it was broken. He touched it, and then it started working again. And so, like, oh, he's the physical manifestation of the Omnissiah. It's kind of the.
So my entire astropathic choir believes this?
They believed it. Like taken out of the core's influence, they've sort of started to then come across and go, "Oh no, we've been influenced by this thing."
Yeah, AI now stands for abominable intelligence in the modern 40K for good reason.
I guess I'll go to the Lord Captain. Yeah, I do believe that we might have a bit of a slight problem with the choir. It seems that the probe's influence had, at least for a time, pushed them towards believing that the AI was some sort of godlike entity. Seems that their beliefs are coming back into the fold, as it were, but I would recommend purging them all. And
people on our ship?
Yes. They seem to be all right now, but at the same time, they were influenced by this sort of thing before, who's to say they wouldn't be again.
Indeed. Currently, we don't have the core, and we can't get access to the core at the moment. But
of course, there's a difficulty that if we eliminate the choir, basically all you have left is me.
Yes, that's the issue.
Well, I am no small thing by any means, but you know.
I understand. They make your job easier. I will leave that to your investigation.
They don't just make his job easier. He literally requires them to send a message over any decent distance. They just boost his signal. So you kind of need them.
They're useful until we can get more, possibly. If you deem that they may not be trusted, let me know and I'll see if I can get another choir to come replace them, essentially.
I would like to require them to submit to a full mind probe.
You have
just to make certain that any truly heretical beliefs haven't taken hold.
You have my permission. Though I don't imagine that all of them will give it to you willingly.
Well, if they don't, then I will kill them.
Before you kill them, make sure we are able to get replacements before you kill them.
I appreciate the reference, James. I really do. I mean, they get burned out like normally anyway, so we slowly replace them over time as is, but not just like purging them entirely. Usually it's not very common.
Essentially, Pierre wants to make sure that before we start killing, we have someone ready to take their place.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we don't want any form of heretic involving with the communications aspects of this ship. It is rather important, after all.
Fair enough.
All right, I
trust your judgment on this one.
Then I shall begin immediately. Yeah, I'm going to require that they all submit to a full mind probe.
Cast Zone of Truth.
I mean, for the most part, that's pretty much how you got here. You were mind probing them to determine the influence, and the information is what you pulled out of that probe. They've realized that, obviously, without the core's influence, they realize that this is wrong. But you also know that, I guess the learning to take away is that the probe, wherever it is trying to build an army.
Gotcha.
So the core, wherever it is trying to...
So I guess that would be part of that conversation as well. So whatever this core is doing right now, it knows that it's in danger.
Great. That sounds wonderful. And the last known location that we can know of the probe was the core was that it's in that pyramid.
You believe so?
Excellent. That would explain why they little beetles have attacked and repaired the power going to it.
Indeed, we should probably eliminate that from happening any further.
Yes, we would have to figure out how to get in the blasted thing.
Well, eliminate enough of those little beasties and they wouldn't be able to repair the power conduits now, would they?
Did you see what happened to Nero?
Oh, I'm saying we go in with a full contingent.
Okay.
Not just Nero by himself.
I was going to say, no, I mean, one Nero equals one contingent, so...
Have you seen what they done to Nero?
Yes, but he survived.
Barely.
Better than them.
So the other thing I will point out, by the way, is that you do know from the cave drawings on the wall of the ship that there are members of the natives that do go into the ship for some reason and don't come out. Like, you can talk to the natives to understand more about what they're doing and why.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that. So
Right.
Because we were trying to see, like, there was some type of like ritual significance as well, right?
Yeah,
They were doing something weird. So barbarians, all of them.
I will try to make an arrangement for them just so we can speak with them then at some point, whichever.
Whatever's going on with that pyramid, allowing it to continue to draw power is not going to be a good thing for us.
Indeed. So we need to find a way into it. We just need to whisper the secret password of open sesame. No, it's not how you do it.
Melnock.
Melnock.
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum.
Open sesame.
You know,
It's
for
just-
a
it's just for
password
you-
you
it's
guys
just
have
for you,
only
AP.
used once, you sure say it a lot.
Because Andrew and I made sure we remembered the damn thing. It's also like it's back when we were still taking notes. So
Anything else you need, Garth?
No, I think that'll be all. If there are any additional heretical thoughts from any member of the choir, I will, of course, execute them immediately.
Okay. Be sure to have a replacement sent for us immediately after.
I will turn them over to the take adepts for more servitors.
That.
We'll mind wipe them and then turn them into servo slaves.
First officer got his paperwork jumbled up. A bunch of blanks show up in the Astropathic choir. Oh,
that'd
hey
be very
guys,
bad.
is this
Oh,
our new
God.
assigned deck?
Purge them all.
Deploy the infiltrators.
All right, so I'm going to flick back to the Medicaid Bay. As Nero is slowly coming out of his medically induced coma, like effectively, the drugs that kept him under have been turned off, and so he's in that sort of hazy, returning to consciousness state. And as you open your eyes and sort of take in that this is the Medicaid Bay, there's a sweet scent in the air. Oh, not sweet. It's like sandalwood. You know what sandalwood smells like? Okay. It's
You
like
know,
this
when you
sandalwood.
said sweet, I was like sandalwood, probably.
Yeah. And as your vision clears, you can see that your heavy bolter is lying on a table near you as well. They wouldn't take that too far from you. And at the other side of the room, you can see where they're back to you. It appears to be Miriam, who is currently tending to something. And there you can see like wisps of smoke coming up in front of her that you would assume where the smell is coming from.
Just servo skull with a data slate that's like poking you in the cheek with it, trying to deliver it, but you're unconscious and it doesn't know what to do because it's a monotask. So it's just like that's its only purpose.
Nero takes the data slate and looks at it.
Servo skull fucks off. It's just like a whole list of unread emails. Like this is the shit that's been going on the past week.
It's probably just all the crew, all the gunnery decks reports and that sort of stuff. So
Well, the
new
notes of the
crew
officers
yeah.
meeting.
Yeah,
and,
before Nero says anything to Miriam, he definitely 100% wants to look through that gunnery report, right? He timed them, but he never got a report as to how those things went, so he wants to look through it. How'd they do?
Let's see. Let's make a roll from this. See how they did.
Okay.
Where's more? Too many windows open. Okay, so they have a skill of 30, and you
That's
intimidated them, so
awful.
I'm going to give them a +10.
Really terrible, James.
Okay. They didn't go so well. You know, it's only 1 degree of failure, but still, it's a failure.
I send.
It's like they achieved the outcome, just it took too long.
I mean, I start typing up a message real quick here for Thale to have everybody report. Be ready to report when I'm leaving this room. He and all of the gunnery crew better be ready for a talking to, very strong talking to. And at this point, he will clear his throat and say,
Miriam turns around. So you see, there's like she was tending like a little shrine. Just like there's like a some small like reliquary box with a couple of incense sticks sticking out of the sides of it, which she was just swapping over for fresh sticks. And she looks, sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. I thought you were still.
I was awoken by a servo skull.
Oh, I tried to get rid of it, but it kept coming back.
That is because it was programmed by Cyrax.
Have you recovered then?
I believe so.
They told me that they kept you all in one piece.
So he's gonna like raise his right arm and take a look at it with all of the it wasn't unscarred before, but now it looks kind of like a bunch of beetles ate half of it, and then was stitched back together. And he goes, normally when I wake up like this, there's a hospitaller waiting for me, but I suppose I have you to thank.
Well, there's a new chief chirurgeon on board as well. He is seen to you, as is the cult mechanicus, to ensure that no cybernetics were required. I purely offered prayer.
Yes.
The one guy was really insistent on cybernetics, and then I heard a wrench being thrown. I haven't seen him since. It's binaric yelling.
I felt your faith, Miriam, and I have to ask why you consider me worthy of it. You must know that I don't believe as you do, in the way that you do.
I don't require you to. I know that you are a man of faith, or at least that you do what you do in support of him on Terra, and that is all that is required. You still have a part to play. We don't need to like each other for me to understand that your continued presence on this ship is a necessity.
My opinion towards you may have changed. I have had some time to consider things. You told me once briefly about something about great men and a breeding program in order to bring about a second emperor, and that Pierre Cowles is one possible solution to that problem.
Yes, that is a very simplistic way of describing it.
That is how you described it to me.
Yes.
So
I fear that I've given you the wrong impression that in our hubris we believe that we can actually create another emperor. That's not what we truly believe. I'm sure there are some that do that, but the purpose of the my order is simply to ensure that the mankind that goes forward is the best that it can be, and that men of greatness become the rule and not the exception.
there is more to him than I had thought. He has a power with him. He can tell people to do things, and they do them. I know you're laughing. Stop laughing. This is a game mechanic that actually happened to him.
That's right. Yep.
He says, where once I might have failed at tasks, he has bolstered me into success. More than once.
Indeed. Then again, you have also cheated death more times than a normal man might, so the same could be potentially said of you.
There's more to it than cheating death. Everything that has happened on, well, I suppose it's not today anymore, but whenever I fell, I potentially could have killed 2 loyalist space marines and set into motion the reading of a heretical text into my own mind, and lost an arm, and yet I have managed to dodge all of those negative circumstances.
The hardest lesson that I've had to learn in my order is the difference between doing the right thing for the wrong reason or the wrong thing for the right reason. I still don't have that mastered yet.
Why was Viridius speaking about mind wiping you?
I was not always a member of the Ordo Famulus. I was previously in a different order of the Sisterhood. And through my role there, I was exposed to things that would leave a permanent mark, not only upon my soul, but upon my mind. Things that can never truly be cleansed, but for which some relief can be brought by removing those memories. I understand the necessity of it. I have a segment of my life that I have no memory of. But all I can do is use a life I do know to worship and work for his interests.
Thank you for your aid. I'm going to stand up now, and I don't know if I have pants on, so I suggest that you leave the room.
She nods and moves out of the room. Like when you said I'm going to sit up now, she like went to move towards you like, I might need your help. But then you said I might not have pants on. She leaves.
I mean, if there's nothing else, the next thing he would do is report to the captain.
If it's
you want to cut to that
anything
scene.
like any other hospital I've ever been to, I was having fucking wrist surgery. Still had to take all my clothes off. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, man. They got procedures.
I know. It's just like
there's probably at least a saline drip attached to you. That's what you're going to pull out.
I pulled that shit out. I don't need that anymore.
Nice.
I'm gonna have breakfast at some point. I missed several of them, so
that's it. Intravenous fluids just aren't doing it for you. All right, so presumably a hearty meal later, which you probably, given you haven't eaten for a week, you probably vomit half of it back up again.
I don't know if you know, but Nero passed a bunch of those toughness rolls back at the party.
That is true. Yeah, you can probably eat the flatware and still keep going.
I eat the crayons first.
Look, of course he eats the silver. He needs the additional iron. Blood loss.
All right, so presumably you find Pierre going about Pierre things.
Assuming the bridge has a lot more activity now, right? Since we got a lot more with the officer ranks filled and probably
in fact, I think I've got
adjutants and all that stuff.
I've updated the Hand of Calixis sheet. I believe you are back up to 28 out of 38 hull, 75% crew, and 100% morale.
Wow, 100% morale. That's good stuff.
We've had
What's our profit factor at now?
Well, he hasn't done the math for the new profit factor.
Yeah. Somewhere between 40 and 49, I'd say, in that range.
It's gone up a decent amount.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of potential body bags with the Astropath.
So Nero shows up for once, heavy bolter not in hand, strapped to his back. He's wearing a t-shirt.
This man is ill. Get him to the Medicaid.
He's wearing a t-shirt for like a J-pop band and blue jeans, and he just stands in front of Pierre and says, "Lord Captain, I have come to accept my punishment."
What'd you do? Are you all right? Where's your heavy bolter?
On my back. You can clearly see the hilt of it sticking out over my shoulder.
I was thinking that you didn't have it with you. That's fine.
No. I will be fully rearmoring in a few minutes, but I thought it important that I report for duty first.
Yes, so why do I need to punish you?
You had given orders to engage all hostiles on sight, and when I encountered the brother librarian Viridius, I hesitated because of what he is.
I do not blame you for that.
It is still contrary to orders.
It is. And then I guess I'll come up with a punishment for you.
I understand.
It's like trying to think. It's like, what on earth could I give him to...
Please take your time, Lord Captain. I would hate for you to unnecessarily lighten the punishment. I have a question that perhaps has not been asked in the last week, although I'm still catching up on things.
Okay, what is your question?
Has anyone asked why Viridius, who was on Charlebel's Grace of Sofa with us for many months, did not present himself until we were on the ship on the surface? The Anvil of War.
I was going to try to ask that, but I never quite got to it, it seems.
Well, I'm sure it's been a busy week.
Yes.
If there's nothing else, Lord Captain, I need to go harass every grunt crew in existence.
Yes, do that.
Nero goes to head to his chambers in order to put on his enforcer carapace and backpack and all of his goodies.
Okay. All right. So, should we do that scene now? I've got other stuff to do, but we can knock it over an hour on that roll, I think. So, shortly later on, you're back on the gunnery deck with all of your. So before you get there, you will be approached by the new bosun. So you had the description before of Chief Sargon, the new chief bosun.
What do you want?
Simply, I needed to introduce myself. I understand that you're the harsh taskmaster that I've heard about from the crew. I'll also be assisting in ensuring compliance to operation in the below decks. So we needed to make your acquaintance.
Has the Master of Arms arrived?
The Master of Arms is not arrived yet.
I thought that was who the Catachani jungle fighter was. The Master Sergeant.
This is who you're talking to. She's chief bosun.
Okay,
yep.
All right.
Cool.
So, I'm just like, you seem competent. Where did you serve?
She lists off like a number of places that you've never heard of. Probably you've got common law war. You probably heard
of a lot of common law war.
In fact, you can probably also tie the fact that at least one of those corresponds with one that Cyrax was in as well.
Yeah, it's the 163rd Catachan Armored Regiment.
Okay, yeah, like when I hear that, I say, so you've served with Cyrax then?
Yes.
Good. We need someone who speaks his language.
Yes, she is also fluent in knife. She's probably the only person on this fucking crew that is like even remotely close to as swole as Nero is too.
Chief Bosun. Oh, looks like James busy.
I need to excuse myself. Sorry, guys, just for 1 minute. I need to go put a password in for a child. I'll be right back.
Oh, of course.
Find this model that I was referencing earlier.
Or Raid Shadow Legends, I would imagine.
No, boy.
Where's this? All right,
I feel like at this point, while everybody's in idle animations, Nero gets his box out and is just like, Garth, where did you put the mining explosives?
All right. So this is sorry. I put in the Rogue Trader channel what the female Catachan I was referencing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're probably still on the shuttle.
Good.
Sorry, I have a child who's been caught playing Fortnite at 3 a.m, so I put a password on the Xbox.
Oh, snap.
Oof. Big oof.
Yep.
Well, that's what. See, his punishment is for getting caught.
Yep, exactly.
Right. I'd be like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed that you weren't stealthy enough. Do better.
He gets his conniving nature from me, that's for sure.
Yeah. I used to get in trouble for reading books late at night, and my parents were like, want to be mad, but we kind of can't. It's like he's reading fucking books. Like, you can punish him for reading. Like, come on. Ah, God.
What is the state of crew discipline, Chief Bosun? I received a report with less than admirable.
That would be my assessment too. So far, I found this crew to be slack. They need more discipline for sure, and so that's what I've been working on in the past few days. But it takes time to achieve what I expect, and I imagine what you expect too, based on what I've heard.
I expect that when the guns of their ship fire, they will do so satisfactorily. Everything else on the ship needs to run in order for that to happen. It is your job to ensure that my gun crews are capable of doing their job. That everyone required to support that function of the vessel does so in a timely fashion.
And it seems we have an accord.
How good are you at education?
If it's the education I believe you're talking about, then I would say that I am not uniquely skilled, but I'm certainly well skilled towards it.
Physical combat training?
She nods.
I will have a... I have a ward who may require additional attention. A young man. Would you be interested in taking on his case?
Certainly. I can take whatever weak clay you provide and mold something hard out of it.
I believe he is stronger than you would think, but he does require hardness.
I will break you.
Send him my way.
Very well.
May I ask you one other question?
Yes.
I noted a woman who came and went from your medical cell multiple times who
Miriam.
I can't determine. I couldn't determine her position on the crew.
I'll let you know when I figure it out.
But Miriam is her name. Very well.
Her position on the crew is to disrupt operations as often as possible.
This is certainly an unusual boat.
She is not a member of this crew, and thus does not concern you.
Very well. Thank you.
You are correct that this is an unusual boat, Chief Bosun. Do you know why?
She indicates for you to tell her.
It is because we are the most savage sons of bitches in the Calixis sector.
Rico's roughneck. Oh wait,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah. Can I get a hooah?
I don't require a hooah. All I require is that you do your job.
Well, that's why I'm here.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
Okay, listen, I love that movie.
I love it. I have a fucking Starship Troopers t-shirt. It just has the thing. It says, "Would you like to know more?" on it. I fucking love Starship Troopers. Are you kidding me?
I think in the hallway after she leaves, he's gonna stop for a second as if he's forgotten to do something and pulls out his hell gun.
Yep.
And he's just gonna stop and like whisper to it and say, "You have done well. As your operator, I shall bestow upon you my machine spirit, your name. Your name is Sentinel 626. And then he's going to sheath it and keep walking.
All right. I'll put that in the character wiki.
This is his nickname, Stitch.
Damn it, my name is Greg.
All right, so shortly thereafter, the gunnery crews are lined up before you, along with Thale.
Nero is going to stare at them for an unusually long amount of time, riding the golf cart up and down. Like, I'm imagining thousands of people, right? So yeah. I think he's going to...
At least hundreds anyway.
I think he's going to have somebody else driving it, but he's going to be like standing on a platform either being dragged by it or on the back end of it, like holding his arm wrapped around something, hanging off the bunker, and then stop in front of Thale and say, "You have failed. All of you have failed to complete the most basic of tasks, the readiness of this vessel's guns."
I think while he's doing this, Garth comes in, pops open a lawn chair, sits down with like a martini, and sits back and just watches.
We are the first and only defense of this ship. Armsmen are useful for what they must do, but the enemies of this ship will need to get within range of our guns before they perform any actions. When we are committing surface actions, our armsmen may be capable of carrying them out, but the guns of this ship will be the final word in any such operations. You are the ship. Your failures are an embarrassment to the Lord Captain. They are an embarrassment to me. Gunnery Captain Thale, do you have an explanation for the failures that I have seen here?
None that I will offer here, except my acknowledgement that we've failed. I don't have excuses.
That is fantastic to hear, that you are capable of understanding that you have failed at the most basic level. Drills will be run repeatedly until you complete a time that I require. In addition, this gunnery crew, all of you, my clankin, will be required to undergo morale improvement training. This ship lacks entertainment. I will be tasking various members of the gunnery captains and squad leaders with putting on a theatrical performance for the entire ship to enjoy at a regular basis. I will provide the script, and you all will be charged with carrying out every task that I require. On top of your duties, which will be to load the guns, run them out, test fire them, and bring them back in repetition until you get it right. I have a number of morality plays here, all of them about the fury of the Emperor and how you can better serve the Lord Captain. And I assure you, each one is more boring than the last. These plays will not stop until you correctly complete your tasks. In exactly 1 minute, you will begin your drills. And during that time, I want you to think about how horrible the play that you're going to put on tonight is. You have 45 seconds to prepare yourself for your drill. I suggest you get some food and water and say goodbye to your family, because you're not going to see them for a while. And then I'm going to turn and walk over to Garth, but I'm holding a stopwatch up that's ticking down, and I say, Lord Valance, so nice to see you.
Well said. Take a sip, and I'm going to mind probe Thale.
Of course you are. Why not?
No worries. Give me your roll. He failed.
Let's see. So that's a willpower.
Wow, you really failed. A 100.
I'm
Incredible.
fate point that.
Okay,
Sid
that'd be
Alpha.
pearls. Oh, that wouldn't be pearls. You're doing it with
Yeah.
fine, but
I'd say with 100, it should be perils.
Stop periling things. I don't want to be in peril.
456 success.
We're on the gunnery deck. The kind of perils that can happen here are very bad.
Not only do you have to load the guns, but you have to do it while
that's right.
fighting off a horde of demons.
please don't fire mind bullets by the nuclear missiles. Yep. So yeah, they're just trying to work out how he's in his head. He's running through how to actually do what they need to do. Probably in terms of when he was asked about, his excuse, their only sort of thought was that partway through their initial drill, Nero from the surface ordered them to move into a bombardment position, and that sort of changed things up. But he also didn't feel that Nero was a sort of team leader that really wanted to hear excuses, just wanted to hear sorry.
Right.
So that's why he kept that to himself.
Let me be clear. Nero accounted for that during his time.
By the way, Nero, just so you know, as I take another sip, it seems that they feel they would have been faster if they hadn't been ordered to shift into bombardment position mid-exercise.
That's reasonable.
Just a thought.
No, I agree with that. I accounted for the timing in the report.
They chose not to share that with you because they figured that you didn't want to hear it, but...
They're correct as well. I'm not here to hear their excuses, only reports of their victories.
Thought you would like to know.
I appreciate that.
Take a sip.
I have a question for you, Lord Valance.
Yes.
They say that people like you, the last thing they see is the Emperor.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
No.
Very well. Lord Valance, I am here to inform you that tonight at 8 there will be a dinner theater performance of a morality play in which the crew of a ship that is very scary all come together and die on droves to support their Lord Captain.
Oh,
I
yes,
told
no,
you.
I'm quite looking forward to it, actually. I'm interested to see what they come up with once they fail their drills.
As I mentioned previously, Lord Valance, I am a huge fan of the theater. At the time, you scoffed, but I hope you understand now.
Oh, no, I'm actually being quite serious. I'm very interested in seeing how they perform in this play.
I've been working on these scripts for years.
Seeing, you know.
Yes, I understand your attempt at jest.
So this conversation is getting harder to have now. As like heavy machinery is being moved around the weapons deck, ready for running out the guns. That is sort of making it a bit industrial sounding in here.
All right, yeah.
I think once it starts getting too loud, I just switch to just telepathically speaking.
Lord Valance, if you'll excuse me, I need to drive my golf cart among the decks and tell them exactly what they're doing wrong.
Oh, have fun.
So you both get a vox call indicating that senior crew are required on the bridge.
Oh, damn.
Thale,
toss out the rest of my martini.
I vox Thale and I'm just like, Thale, ride my golf cart up and down and make sure everyone's doing everything correctly, and if they're not, yell at them a lot. Very scarily.
Yeah. Yes, master.
All right.
He gets on board and starts doing that with his 30% intimidate. All right. You guys head up to the bridge, so everyone's at the bridge.
I want to point out the ship provides a plus 15 intimidate.
That is true. There you go. Okay, so he's got a 45% intimidate.
I didn't even include that in my roll earlier because I forgot about it. But yeah.
Okay, so on the bridge, when you get up there, so presumably Pierre is here as well, as is Cyrax. There a unplanned or so another ship has warped into the system. It is not one that you're expecting. Imperial design, and it's currently making its way towards the planet now.
I'm gonna immediately vox Thale and tell him cancel all drills, load all guns.
So you do want to run the guns out? Okay, nice. Yep. Okay.
Yes, I guess I don't know. I'm just like shields up, red alert.
Yeah.
Second edition one throughout the ship.
General Gorgeous.
It does mean changing the bulb. All right, so you're getting a Vox communication from this ship. The presumably the Vox operator will put it through to you.
Do we have a Master of the Vox yet?
Well, we have a first officer whose job is to tell us these things.
That's right. We do have Master of the Vox, although we don't have a name for that. This was the person who submitted a character description without a name. So
I think that was both the issues that they both didn't have a name.
Well, then Master of the Vox shall forever be known as Biggest Dickus.
Wow, okay.
He has a wife, you know.
I think there's copyright issues with that name, but all right.
The Master of the Vox is the former Aeronautica pilot who lost both legs and an arm in a crash and had them replaced by Simonex replacements.
Okay, so is that one
mustered out for injury? Yeah.
Call him Lucky.
I mean, he's alive.
He's lucky to be alive.
His name is Hopper.
Wow.
Classy. Okay, so You get a communication. This is Captain Kapperman of the Ivory Archivist. Stand by for Inquisitor Al-Subai. And he sort of walks away from the Vox signal.
Sorry, Captain Kapperman of the
Ivory Archivist.
Ivory Archivist. All right, please continue.
Yep. And he steps away from the comm screen, and a man walks onto the comm screen. He's a similar age to you, like he's quite young, probably like mid to late 20s. Bald head with shaved bald with multiple cybernetic attachments in his head. Beard, goatee, sort of not a full beard, like a goatee, with a sort of he's wearing like a high collared coat. Actually, more like sort of like a coat with a hood you can pull up, and you can see like around his neck he's got a very clear inquisitorial rosette hanging on a chain, along with a second symbol which looks kind of like a starburst or hanging on a second chain. Yeah, there's no doubt that this man is he wears his inquisitional symbols quite proudly. You can also see around his shoulders there's
he wears his inquisitor self on his sleeve essentially. Okay.
Yeah. Lord Captain, I am Inquisitor Al-Subai of the Order Xenos.
What's the pleasure I have you coming to my system?
I need permission to enter your vessel and discuss some serious matters of concern with you.
Very well. We will have things ready for you to come in. Do I need to make sure no one sees you? I know some of you'd like
make sure everybody sees me.
Ah, of course.
So do we hear this conversation on the bridge?
Yep.
I'm gonna send a newsferic ping, and I'm gonna have this guitar stand to muster and be ready, because I don't trust the Inquisition.
Yeah. I'll have dinner prepared for you.
That won't be necessary.
Oh, very well. I was just trying to be courteous.
He grunts and then turns the Vox off.
He's a happy sort.
Sounds like an asshole.
Lord Captain,
charmer, isn't he?
I need to inform you that with tonight's dinner, there will be ship-wide theatrical entertainment provided by the gunnery deck.
Oh, that sounds terrific.
Forward to it.
I know it's something different, but all I can think of is because I was just watching something the other day just to watch something. I rewatched Escape from New York, and the play that they have, it's just what I'm imagining for some reason.
What is the script, may I ask?
It is a morality play about the perils of good and evil, and that all should give their lives on the ship in service of the Lord Captain. I have several more about dying for the Emperor, dying for the Imperial Guard, dying for the Imperial Navy.
This sounds quite lovely.
Lord Captain, I'd also like to consider bolstering your onboard finances via a program where we sell t-shirts and paraphernalia regaling you. I heart the Lord Captain.
Are we selling merch?
Merch, yeah.
Cowles lineage or die.
You know how there's like an entire version of Hamlet that's in Klingon? There's a version of Hamlet that's in binary. It only takes like 45 seconds.
0.23
yeah, it's only like 45 seconds.
Plushy dolls of you that the younger children in the clan can hold on to.
Oh,
yes,
man.
Is everyone familiar
reason
with the merch from Penny Arcade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a 40K thing for sure.
You know what the children would buy like hotcakes? Cyrax's servo skull as a plushie. For some reason, kids love it.
I agree, Lord Captain. We should begin monetizing the ship immediately.
Yes, let's get a hold of whoever would be in charge of that. I guess
You have a first officer, correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
I'm going to turn a
what would
chimera
be an
into
interesting
a merch fan.
addition with that would be a Nero action figure.
Nero just starts physically laughing as he walks off the bridge.
You're being voxed again from the Ivory Archivist.
All right,
Nero answers the Vox.
Nero turns around, but he's still laughing when the comms open.
Yes.
So the Inquisitor's back on the screen. Lord Captain, my crew tell me that your guns are run out. If you want to make a fight of this, let me know and I'll go get a fleet to deal with this.
No, I'll have him stand down. It was just precautionary. You kind of came into the system unannounced.
He was doing gunnery drills
Yeah, I
when he
mean,
popped out. So.
I will pop into the camera and just be like, Inquisitor, we were performing a gunnery drill when you arrived, and the drill will continue. Thank you.
Yes, they're all in trouble. Part of their punishment. They'll be doing a play later tonight if you would like to see.
If you'd like to stay for dinner.
and he sort of turns off camera and he's like, Lord Captain, I take it you can get a drill going quickly as well? Then you should do that.
Oh boy, like Nero's like, okay, that's how this is gonna go.
Cyrax also gives Nero a look of like, we disagree, but we agree on this guy's a fucking asshole. Like, we do the, I mean, I've got a face, but we, it's like, all right, fuck this guy in particular.
All right.
Is the communications line closed?
He closes it, yep.
Lord Captain, perhaps we should send the shuttle over to pick him up, and then it can experience unknown fatalities. One lost. Ejected into the dark void of space.
Those explosives were still in that cargo compartment.
Nero, I believe the technical term is rapid unscheduled disassembly.
Yes, all of those are true. However, now that you remind me of that, I apologize, Lord Captain. I must return to the cargo shuttle and recover the explosives.
Or
what is the space equivalent to Rock's
We're
Fall?
not going to kill.
Yes, I understand, but I need to get that Aegis defense line and the explosives back into.
Yes, go do that.
Yes, they need to go in my chest.
I am fortifying this position.
I will escort the Inquisitor to you to make sure that he doesn't go off book anywhere.
Yes,
I'm sure I can deal with
regiment.
him.
Also, have a regiment also welcome the Inquisitor.
We do not have a regiment.
You know what I mean.
We don't even have a company.
Have an honor guard.
I will assemble a squadron.
Thank you.
I'll send some Scutari if I can.
They gonna listen to me when I tell them to do stuff?
Fuck no.
They're not very useful.
Well, they have his Scutari Alpha. That's he's competent. That's his job.
All right, I'm gonna tap the chief bosun on my way out and just be like, "It's time, honor guard. Show me what you got."
Yeah.
His name is Tycho 0947-K. He's a good guy. Don't worry about it.
This man wants to have his face thrown about. We'll have his face thrown about.
All right, she organizes a group of the senior enlisted because you don't really have an armed force. The armsmen report to the master of arms, which you don't really have, so that sort of defaults to you then. But
I'm putting her in charge of showing me what she's got.
Okay, well then she organizes a group of the senior enlisted and then the armsmen as well.
All the guys we have with the good weapons, right?
Yep,
like las rifles at the minimum. No auto steppers. Get that shit out of here.
Yep.
You think we're plebs?
Yeah, exactly.
So his shuttle, he brings his own shuttle across, of course. And once again, like the shuttle itself is emblazoned with both the inquisitorial eye and the sunblaze, the sunburst pattern. So it's obviously his personal shuttle too.
Fucking Knight of the Blazing Sun over here.
Yeah, it's more like a gun cutter too. So it's heavily beweaponed.
Wow. Aren't we fucking fancy?
Hey, you rolled it, not me. When he steps out of the shuttle, it's him and one other. So he is quite tall. He stands about 6'4", all tall. He's wearing a robe over carapace armor, and he's got all sorts of dangly things on chains. Like this guy, stealth is not an option at all because he has so many symbols hanging from his belt, from his neck, from his arms. Devotional scripts. He's got like a whole sort of scroll work of devotional patterns hanging from his belt. A bolt pistol in a holster. And he's also got like a big book with Inquisitorial Eye chained to his waist as well. The man behind him is basically just dressed in like a missionaries or acolytes robes, and he's just swinging a blackened skull which is being converted into a censer as he follows him. So he doesn't appear to be armed, other than the fact that he can probably brain someone with that censer if you really needed to.
Okay, I'm gonna say, Master Sergeant, secure the area so that none may accidentally wander into this inquisitorial shuttle. Inquisitor Al-Subai of the Ordo Xenos, if you will follow me, please.
He grunts.
As we're walking, I'm just going to loudly shout, "This is Inquisitor Al-Subai of the Order Xenos. Everyone look at him. He's ordered you to do so." Everywhere we go on the ship. Nero's going to do that.
Excellent.
He smolders at the crew, you know.
he puts on a show.
What's that? What's the one from Zoolander? Blue Steel?
Yeah, so he just gives off a vibe of I could kill you both legally and capably.
I mean, Nero, I believe that is the general vibe he emits at all times as well.
It's true.
Well, maybe not legally, but capably.
I mean, he's on your ship.
Yep.
He
Well,
has permission to come here.
problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's what was it? Random disassembly, something or other. We can cover it up.
Then comes
The
fire.
Adeptus Mechanicus could make him disappear and get away.
Yeah,
with it.
we have Inquisitors that kind of watch for us. So anyway,
So
I definitely
where
open
are you meeting him?
I'm taking him to the captain's ready room, and as I bring him through the bridge, I'm like, "Everyone, stop what you're doing! This is Inquisitor Al-Subai of the Order Xenos.
I do
Look
not
at him.
stop.
Look at him!"
I have no interest. I could give less of a shit.
As I'm saying that, I usher him into the ready room.
Just say to Garth,
What a fizzing asshole. And for once, I don't mean Nero.
I'm
I'm standing right here. I heard that.
Were you referring?
Yes.
So I mean, I shut the door to leave the captain, and I want to stop this weirdo guy following him from. The guy with the skull.
He'll
I
wait
like put a
outside.
hand on his chest, and I'm like, "You're not invited. I don't know who the hell you are. Stand right here and swing your sensor safely. This is ancient equipment. It's worth more than you."
So the Inquisitor turns back your way. What's your name?
You're talking to me, Inquisitor
Yes.
Al-Subai of the Order Xenos?
Yes.
I'm glad you
hero
asked.
of the Imperium, member of the Inquisition.
I'm Nero Julius Augustus Bullet. You might know me by my trade name, Nero the Blade. I'm a member of the Hand of Calixis.
Do you have family? Nero Augustus Julius Bullet?
Not that I can remember. I have a planet.
I push past both of them and go into the room.
I'm just like, I don't... Well, he outranks me. Are you supposed to be scaring me or something, Inquisitor? You have a meeting to get to, I think. Inquisitor Al-Subai of the Order Xenos.
All right. He grunts and turns around and keeps going. But he doesn't pause you.
Before Nero shuts the room, he turns to this guy's flunky and goes, "Does he have some sort of digestional problem? He's always grunting." And then he shuts the door.
It's because he's full of shit.
Nero plays a dangerous game.
Okay. So who's it? Just you? Is this Lord Captain? Or who else is in this meeting room?
Cyrax
no,
pushes
Cyrax.
way
They were
in.
having that conversation. I just pushed back. I just went
Yeah, nice.
between them. And I'm
All right,
not a
has
small man.
Has Garth come into or not?
Sure.
All right.
If he is okay with Garth being in there, he can stay. If not, I'll request Garth to leave.
I'll open the door for Garth. Lord Captain, Lord Valance is here. Shall I send him in?
Yes, of course, at once.
Very well. And I shut the door again.
Did you let everybody know?
That Inquisitor Al-Subai of the Order Xenos wished to be gazed upon? Yes, I did, sir. Everyone we
Thank
met.
you. Thank you.
I closed the door again. Just to be clear, I'm on the outside of this room now.
There's also a contingent of Skitari now standing outside this door.
Ah, so very loyal and trustworthy.
Just point a thumb behind me as I walk in. What an asshole.
All right, he reaches to his belt and pulls out like a rolled scroll, but he's like squeezing it tight, so it's like crushed in the middle, and like just the roll ends coming out, and he puts it down to the table between you. I bring you a writ of accusation that you have lied to the Ordo Xenos of the Emperor's Holy Inquisition, and I demand that you respond to these charges.
What have I lied about? I guess you would start like scanning through to see if there's like an explanation.
Yeah, and it's like a prefabbed form as such. Like it's it's all filled out with just like lines where you write in. So it says on this date, write in this. The accused known as blah did so
Is the
willingly.
box too small for whatever he's accused of? Like it always is on the forums. It's always too small.
Does the name Inquisitor Cassius Schrain mean anything to you?
That's the first Inquisitor that we met.
That was the very first one we met.
The guy with the 2 death watches.
Yes, he was also another Inquisitor that seemed to wear his authority on his sleeve.
Why did you tell Schrain you knew nothing of Station 13 when you clearly do?
I know nothing of it.
It's a lie. You actually know about it now.
I do know about it now, but I know nothing else
gave that
about it.
statement. He didn't at the time, right?
Why is your ship sending encrypted communications to a navigator on Footfall that no longer works for you and asking him to hide details of Station 13 in a hidden location in the passageway of the Moor?
We didn't ask him to do that. He volunteered to do that.
Yeah. If you knew nothing of this, why have you engaged this man on this topic?
Nero's the one who did all of this, by the way.
I legitimately know nothing of this.
What of the...
Do you know anything about this? I hope you do. It'd be very confusing if you didn't.
I look at the DM.
You do. You were there. So he's asking about the conversation I had where I sent a message to our old navigator asking him about Station 13, and he offered to leave information about it somewhere. What was the name of this navigator?
So we were inquiring about information.
Yes, and he freely offered it to
Izarin.
Yes. Yeah. How's Zentai? Izarin offered, he said, talk to the whatchamacallum. So I asked him what he knew, and he was like, okay, yeah, like, just to follow up, James, he didn't say anything about the location, the secret location stuff. We got that from the Master of Whispers on the ship.
Yeah, but so what's happened is he's organized to have it sent there, but the Inquisition were watching him.
Okay.
So they have then observed that he took the information. Right. They went and picked up afterwards.
Right, but then he would know that we didn't ask for that information. He just gave it to us out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, look, this guy's an asshole. He's yelling to Qs.
All right. So Garth, you know about all this because you were the one that sent and decrypted
Nero
these
was sending messages to that navigator, and that navigator had information on Station 13 and offered to provide it to us freely.
And what of the Xenos communications that you've received? This ship have been beamed to this vessel from the Jericho Gate.
What is a Jericho?
This all means something to you, probably. Yeah. The quantumly entangled communications that your ship has received.
Is this some Death Watch shit?
No, it's talking about the servitor.
No, the Jericho Gate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he talking about the servitor? Or
yes, he is.
He's
guys, he's obviously talking about the servitor.
I'm not going to give him anything. It's Mechanicus business.
I'm not even in the room. But I'd be like, fuck that guy, let's kill him. I meant the alien, not the Inquisitor. Also, we should kill him.
I can just sit back and say, I can honestly state in all certainty that I have never relayed any communications to or from anything that would be called any form of gate.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've heard of the Jericho Gate, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. You're not on my writ, Lord Astropath. I'm here for him. He points at the Lord Captain.
I'm merely offering my assistance with what I know.
It's a good thing Cyrax doesn't have a face.
I do not request
given the stink eye right now.
I do not request any information about the Station 19.
Station 13.
Station 13 that you speak of. I was told specifically not to request it, and I did not. What information he's given me was on his own deed, not mine. And I haven't even gotten that information at all.
Then you're either a heretic or you're incompetent, because one of your crew is.
He's talking a lot of shit for someone in Pyrax range.
I want to be very clear here, Lord Captain.
Yes.
My jurisdiction only extends as far as footfall, so I've come here out of my own graces to make a gesture of goodwill towards you. That this investigation will be conducted in the Calixis sector. So the next time you set foot on footfall, you better be ready to face this investigation. You better have your facts straight by then.
I'll be sure to make sure everything is straight for you. Though I can guarantee you that what your claims are not just.
I'll leave this here. He says, just well, you probably picked up. He points towards the writ and says, you can review that in full.
Thank you. I will. Several times.
Right. You can have your man take me back to my shuttle now.
Of course.
I'm sure we'll see each other again in the future.
And he was never heard from again.
I'm glad you took your own personal time to come clear out here, too.
Look, Nero, I mean, ships are lost in the warp all the time, man. It happens. It's just,
look, they're at close range with us, and we have loaded guns.
They probably outgun us. They probably outgun us by a lot.
I mean, it depends on what kind of ship it is. What kind of ship is it, James?
It's a Loki class Q ship.
I don't know. Oh, Q ship? Like a merchant ship that's been up armored?
No, it's like a small. It's a type of raider, so it's slightly smaller than yours.
I mean, this is literally the type of ship we were built to engage.
I'm hearing that we could potentially take this.
I mean, I could just shoot this guy while he's sitting. Again, but I'm not in the room. Like as he heads towards the door, it opens, and I'm just like, Lord Captain, I trust your discussion was satisfactory, and that I will see this gentleman back to his shuttle without accident.
Without accident,
I understand, Lord Captain. Everyone gaze upon the Inquisitor. He has ordered it.
Here's something. Here's something that Nero does see. Like I imagine the captain's in between him, and but you see Cyrax's eyes. You see one of them like click off and then back on. It's like the mechanical equivalent of a wink.
Inquisitor Al-Sabai, can I ask about your compatriot? Oh, I 100% want to have a small talk conversation with him on the way back.
I want to have a conversation with the Lord Captain before he leaves, because I believe it's just him, myself, and Garth that are still in the room, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So we can do that whenever.
What is your issue with my attendant?
I have no particular issue with him, although he has almost hit me several times with that sensor, and if it touches my body, I will eliminate the arm swinging the sensor. Can I ask what your purpose was in coming here?
I had a delivery for your Lord Captain.
What kind of delivery?
Tell you more.
No, I mean, I'm just at, look, we have I don't know, the ship's pretty long. What do we have, a 2-hour walk back to the shuttle bay? I don't know. There's plenty of time for small talk. That's Inquisitor Al-Sabai, everyone. Look at him. He's very important. It's scary. Look at how scary he is.
Hell yeah.
I feel like the way back, Nero is way less formal about it. Like, he's openly mocking the guy. Like, yes, he has a very intimidating grunt noise.
I'm more confused about where all the crew got all these palm leaves at. I mean, it was just crazy. They're synthetic. We just keep them in closets just for such occasions.
Yeah, but seriously, Al, can I call you Al? I don't know what the procedures are. I didn't even learn that the Inquisition was a real thing until about 2 months ago.
Inquisitor will be sufficient.
Gaze upon his ceramite-encrusted body. He is not overcompensating.
So, Inquisitor, seriously, why were you here? It's my job to know security threats to the ship. Is there a security threat present on or to the ship?
That's to be determined. Right now, your Lord Captain stands accused of a crime, which he'll have to account for next time he returns to the Imperium.
Oh, that's good, because out here, he's Imperial law, correct?
That's correct.
And you're outside your jurisdiction.
I have remit to come here, but I will not place judgment upon him until he returns to the Imperium.
Okay,
that's all I needed to know.
Yeah. Next time you come here, perhaps it would be a better idea to inform us before you arrive. A hostile ship arriving unannounced with no warning. In the future, it could be considered an act of desperation or war. you might be eliminated before your Vox is ever received, and that would be very unfortunate. Inquisitor Alcibi of the Ordo Xenos.
All I would have to do is send a signal to the Explorer fleet and tell them, hey, this guy's trying to keep us from recovering lost technology. I'm going to never see this fucker again.
I turn to him and I say very seriously, it's probably the first time I ever look him in the face. It would be good to remember that out here, the Emperor's will is that of Pierre Cowles. And that you will treat him with respect, no matter what he is accused of, or where he is accused of it. I would hate for someone like you to be accused of heresy, sir.
He doesn't say anything. He just stares you down.
Good. I say
And Nero's balls grew 3 sizes bigger that day.
We all serve the Emperor, don't we? Please, enjoy your journey home. And I gesture for the bosun to do, some sort of honor guardy thing. Probably like flags are waved around or something.
Yep.
The new Cowles lineage t-shirts first off the rack are being displayed. Someone tries to hawk and sell them to the attendant as he's getting on with this sensor.
It's like where you just grab a shirt. Oh, by the way, here.
It's the proof copies where like a letter is the spacing slightly too much, but it's it's a free shirt, so of course they're gonna get you to take it.
Yeah, and like as he's walking up the landing ramp, I'm just gonna be like, just remember, Inquisitor Alcibi of the Ordo Xenos, we all serve the Emperor, especially when we are the Imperial Authority out here. Have a good journey home.
And you look after yourself, Nero, Julius, or Augustus Bullet.
That's Nero the Blade, thank you. Spread my word everywhere. My contract may be up one day. A man like you probably has deep pockets.
Yes, there will be others I'll be speaking about you with.
Fantastic.
Fair day to you. And this ramp goes up and their shuttle leaves.
I'm amazed Nero is still alive.
I know. I'm trying to push Japes here, but he really just doesn't want to have a gunfight in the middle of the cargo bay. I'm going to turn to the chief bosun and say, well, I probably can't go back to the Imperium now, but that was an incredible amount of fun.
You're just really like that. He just really got off on that one. Like that was like, he had to take a second to collect himself.
Yeah, I mean, like he's just
I need a cold shower. I'm
very glad to still be alive. I mean, I almost died a week ago, and
what's this all about?
I don't even want to start. Have these armsmen return to whatever they were doing. Continue your discipline work around the ship. Good job, Chief Bosun. Thank you very much. And then immediately comes Miriam. I just be like,
wait, okay. Before you leave, sorry. So Sargon says to you, that Miriam, she's Inquisition too, isn't she?
Who can say? I definitely need to talk to her about.
Do you want me to go and ask her about this Inquisitor?
I am about to speak to her about a number of topics. The first of which will probably be, how can I find an Inquisitor that will stop other Inquisitors from killing me? It seems like I need a little bit of favor in the Inquisition right now. And, Chief Bosun.
Yes?
Don't talk to Miriam. That's an order.
Okay.
She is a problem for Lord Cowles. A very serious problem jammed right up his ass. And then Nero's going to turn and start coming Miriam.
Okay, no worries.
I would like to have the senior staff essentially come into the ready room.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm at the cargo bay, so I probably come to him and say, it sounds like the captain needs you in the ready room. I'll be there in like 2 hours. Afterwards, I need to speak to you privately about what favors I can do for the Inquisition in order to alleviate an angry Inquisitor from murdering me.
I mean, you could probably do the equivalent of being there. I mean, not hololithically, but I mean, while you're riding on the golf cart down the eternal hallway, you could at least be there and hear it. Like,
oh, okay, yeah, no, I mean, look, I didn't know I could Microsoft Teams in. I didn't know that was an option. Sure, I'll do that.
We just have everybody on the, just a Vox
All right,
Everything
yeah,
you can
I'm
do.
just. Hello, Captain. Can you hear me? Is this coming through?
Yes.
I haven't done. You know, I'm very big on face-to-face meetings. How loud am I? Is it too loud or not loud enough?
Your volume is
It's Nero, by the way.
It's Nero. Can you see me?
yes.
Like turn the volume down by 50%.
All right, I'm back down to a normal level. I'm just speaking normally now. All right, everyone. Why is Garth fiddling with the volume button?
No reason.
Okay. What do you need, Lord Captain? By the way, I'm pretty sure that Inquisitor is going to kill me one day. Like personally.
I was gonna
Well,
ask, before we
Hope you have your bolter ready when he tries to.
before we have this whole thing, while he's Nero's escorting the Inquisitor back to his thing, I wanted to inform. I guess Garth will be here. I don't really care, but I was going to inform the captain of what I did with the data chip, and regarding contacting the Mechanicus, just fill him in.
Yes, of course. You
doesn't
essentially
really-
sent it over, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah. I instead of sending a signal, I put it on a physical object, like a more or less a CD that it will be hand delivered, hand couriered to the appropriate people. It doesn't really need to be a whole conversation, but I definitely wanted to let him know.
And
Sorry,
I
Tommy,
really
can the-
appreciate that.
The message you sent me, by the way, which C are you talking about? If she wants to know things, which C?
So I've more or less set it so that the only people allowed in the engineering are obviously the Lord Captain and then any of the Mechanicus personnel. But I'll add the
Sargo.
Sorry. one from the
Sargon.
the Catachan.
Okay, the bosun court. No,
Yeah. Because I mean, if she wants to know stuff, I mean, I'll probably tell her some stuff just because I don't give a shit and I can do what I want.
I mean, she's already coming on the ship asking unusual.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing about the Catachan is if you get to any position of rank, it's because you're competent and whatever. It's not via promotion. It's no. There's a reason. They're elected by the troopers, not by a command structure. But she might get special treatment from me. I'm just letting you know that. Anyway.
Cyrax, you should know that bosun was asking questions about the Inquisition. And Miriam and the Inquisition.
There are a lot of questions to be asked. Can you really blame her?
I would not put it past the Inquisition to place a inquisitorial agent among the senior staff.
I think Pierre just looks at Garth.
Yeah, I also look at Garth.
Is that a statement? Or are you insinuating something?
I am doing both at the same time.
If I find out that the bosun is a member of the Inquisition, I will kill her myself.
Excellent. Glad we're in agreement.
What's the message command in Roll20 again? To whisper somebody?
So it's just /W space.
Yeah,
name,
and then their name.
space, whatever the thing.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying less to cut people off because they never shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's just a habit I've always had. So.
Yeah, Nero's is just gonna say, Miriam, are you on the call yet?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, we just received a Inquisitor by the name of, I don't know, Al Subai of the Order Xenos. Do you know anything about this man?
I know he's a member of the Tyrantine Cabal.
I don't know what that means.
Does that sound familiar to Pierre?
Actually,
Yeah.
I do know what that means because it's in the political primer. The Chief Lord Inquisitor of the Calixis sector is a member of the Tyrantine Cabal.
I'd probably rather discuss this. I'd rather not do this over a Vox if possible.
All right. Well, you all have your meeting, and I'll be there in 1 hour 45 minutes.
It's not that long. It's like 30 minutes.
Okay, I'll
Did
be there in
you-
like 30 minutes.
Nero, I just have one question. Did you try to get in contact with the old navigator?
You mean Izarin?
Yes.
Yes, I sent him a message through Garth.
What was the message about?
I asked him about the nature of Station 13.
Well, that got us in trouble.
Well, it didn't get me in trouble.
It got us in trouble.
I apologize, Lord Captain. However, in my only defense in this regard, I was attempting to piece together what eventually turned out to be a massive techno-heresy involving your mother. And I was attempting to protect you at all costs from unnecessary involvement.
Well, we're now involved. We can discuss more of it later when you get here.
So I want to be clear, by the way, that the writ of accusation that you've given doesn't charge anything regarding knowing or talking about or communicating about outposts. Station 13. The accusation is only that you
lied to Cassie's Strain. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
which we can prove is definitely false.
Yeah, and also, like, it's not part of the accusation, but there is, stuff there about the fact that you've received quantumly entangled Xenos communications to your ship.
That is true, and I have nothing to do with that. So,
well, we don't know anything about the Jericho.
I have no idea what quantum entangling is. So.
30 minutes later, Nero shows up.
I do want to make it a matter to learn more about this Jericho Gate.
Miriam, do you know anything about the Jericho Gate?
Only that I've heard stories that within the Maw there is something that connects the Koronus Expanse with another part of the galaxy, like a warp gate, I assume. But
I mean, I'm gonna look at everyone here except Miriam and be like, "Don't we know that such a gate exists? We have the coordinates to a thing that sends things to the segmentum obscurum or some shit like that, right?"
That's where you are. It's the ultimate segmentum where it goes to.
Yeah, we actually we not only know this exists, we know exactly where it is.
I don't think we had it named before.
And you know the ship's been through it as well.
Yes. So we don't know that this is the Jericho Gate specifically, but we know that things like this exist.
Well, we know they exist.
We could do this. But I'm not saying anything in front of Miriam because I hate her.
Yeah.
You hate her in anime way, don't you?
I mean, I need her help right now.
You're gonna fight right up until you kiss.
Cyrax is
only if she switches from Dialogus to Famulus to Hospitaller again.
So Cyrax is more annoyed that this Inquisitor has now more or less spilled the beans on the whole servitor thing.
Indeed. We'll have to figure out what we need to do about that servitor. Granted, we won't need the servitor when our guests arrive. After which point.
So I know the captain. I've told the captain. I guess Garth also knows about the STC, and I would have stressed, if they didn't know, I would have told them that that's more or less my purpose, is to recover said things. That is my prime directive, for lack of a better term. So right now, that servitor, its strategic value is absolute, and it's not a matter. That's objective,
Indeed.
So,
Miriam,
well, again,
what can we do about this? Clearly, these charges are false. I mean, as far as Nero knows, it's mostly false. The important part is that train thing. And Nero says, obviously, these charges are false. Provably false. We will need protection, perhaps me personally, from this Inquisitor. And you are a acolyte of Pendergast, yes?
I'm not. I don't work for her, but I've worked with her in the past.
Well,
I
obviously,
bet that fucking
we
Cyber
need.
Eagle has a recording.
Yes, you're right, Cyrax. You're absolutely right. Cassia Strain, who's making this accusation, has a recording implicating that we are correct.
I was going to say, it's interesting that Strain didn't come and make this accusation himself.
Yeah, no,
maybe it's
exactly.
worthwhile reaching out to him regarding this matter.
All right,
So this guy's just being a dick to be a dick. Because when I'm hearing this.
The Tyrant Tinkerbell moves largely separate to the rest of the Inquisition within the Calixis sector. And I don't even see how this matter relates to their particular remit.
Consider the possibility that he was dispatched by a Lord Inquisitor, so that he would make false accusations, and it would make him look very poor.
Sorry, is a Lord Inquisitor higher than an Inquisitor?
Yes.
Correct. Much in the same way that a Commodore is higher than a Captain.
What's more, Alcibiades only recently been given the mantle of Inquisitor as well.
Oh, okay. So he's a straight up bitch then. Okay.
He may be on a power trip with these newfound.
Miriam, if you could attempt to get whatever information you can get on him for me. if this guy is just coming out here to be an asshole, it will not be taken lightly.
It's a pretty long trip to come out to be an asshole.
Rattling sabers. Yeah, but that's like their prime directive.
I
It's just
see.
assholes.
It's
It's a professional occupation. It's just asshole.
he is a known Puritan.
I don't know what that means either.
He is very black and white. You're either
Yeah, no, I get that. Yes.
you're either demonstrably not a heretic or you are irrevocably a heretic.
I agree with everything you just said.
So my assumption is this guy does not like rogue traders.
That may be part of it.
So this guy was just trying to come out here to be a dick almost.
I would not how should I say this? I would not underestimate the plots of an Inquisitor.
I know.
Face value is often what we're not. Lord Valance, it is not my place to order you to do anything, but perhaps you could consider sending a message to this Cassius Strain and figuring out from his end what's going on here.
Yes. He is a later problem now, though.
No, it sounds like it's
to
a pretty big problem right now.
It's only a problem until we go back to the Imperium to Footfall, but...
Well, I must remind you, Lord Captain, as much as annoying him at his own order was amusing to me, I do need to be able to return to the Imperium at some point, as I am a loyal subject, and I don't have a writ to protect me.
Okay.
It's top priority for me. For the rest of you, you're fine. You all have protection.
Garth, could you send another message to Pendergast that I would request ask information about getting protection from Nero?
I mean, no, we should get protection for you first. Like, obviously, I would love to have protection, but, you know, if you're killed, then we have all sorts of problems. You realize my job is keeping you alive.
Yes. Send a message to Pendergast asking for insight amongst the accusations that we've been sent and possible protection for myself and for Nero.
So try and figure out what the deal is with that guy politically and who might be pulling his strings. Might not be a terrible thing to try and figure out.
As an Inquisitor that works in the shadows, she'd probably be able to find some decent information.
I mean, because there's all sorts of it's like most of what they do, like 95% of what Inquisitors do is just dick each other over.
Yeah, I mean, most probably she's going to send a message back asking us how we feel about having to overcome this challenge.
Oh, we can overcome it fairly easily. We can make him disappear.
Yeah, so let's just invite him back and then blame him. He tried to attack us. Fair grounds. No. Joking.
Castle doctrine on this ship, my law.
I mean, yes, it is your law. This is your colony and your ship.
Indeed.
You don't need castle doctrine. That's imperial doctrine there.
Yes.
You know, I could see if there are any because they're rare, but there are Mechanicus Inquisitors. They do exist.
For now, I'd like to try to settle this matter peacefully and diplomatically. The less attention I get from the Inquisition at this point would be the best.
Correct.
You've already spoken with, what, like 3? That's like more than most people experience on a lifetime.
Two in person, unfortunately, then one indirectly, who has taken some odd interest in Pierre after trying to send a group of guys to kill him, essentially.
Well, do we know that was an Inquisitor that sent those guys?
Yes, we know it was Anessa. She sent us a message mocking us afterwards, I think.
No.
Identified it by her choker. She wears a distinctive piece of jewelry.
Because we asked the pretty much the head of Footfall.
And Miriam basically straight out told us afterwards.
I think so,
Yeah, that's what it was.
Miriam told you that she was Distvarnian. and therefore liked to test.
Be a shame if those Sicarian infiltrators popped out of an air vent. Shame happens. Just roaming gangs of infiltrators. You know.
This is about all I wish to just discuss at the moment. For now, we should probably get back to seeing what else we can pull out of these guests that'll be coming here shortly. Well, eventually.
Which guests? What are we talking about here?
The Xenos.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm just like Nero gets on the box and he's like, all right, stand down, red alert, continue gunnery drills. You're like Xenos, and he's like, oh yeah, right, we need to practice to kill them.
Yes.
Lord Captain, might I suggest that at some point we return to the planet with a few armsmen and then, how should I put this? Continuously shoot the cabling until the Xenos Uvathian beetles come out so I can get a second shot at killing all of them.
Instead of that, hear me out.
Yes.
We'll go down to the planet and speak with the natives there, essentially.
Yeah. Yes. What was his name? Warlord Kiergan?
Yep.
He seemed competent.
Yes.
Why are we talking to them, though? They're savages. We
know that they send occasionally, almost as like a ritual, to the ship on occasion. And they don't come out, so perhaps they know something that we do not. It's a lead to go by.
Yes,
and we might
I
as well
understand, Lord Captain, but immediately afterward, I would also like to go back and shoot the wiring until the beetles come.
I will think about that.
I understand, sir. If you'll excuse me, I need to go plan for a play.
Yes, please. I expect it to be perfect.
It will be terrible, sir.
Miriam turns to you. Did you still want to speak to me before you went?
Yes, please walk with me. I would like to talk to you about not dying. How can I accomplish this? This does not have to be an on-camera conversation. He's just going to be like, what can I do to get favor with the Inquisition so that this guy doesn't kill me?
One thing before we go, Lord Captain, I was reviewing the medical checks I've done with the chief chirurgeon of the new crew that have been brought on board. The natives that you brought on board, the Hand, I lack the tools to confirm for sure, but I believe that every single one of them is a carrier for the pariah gene.
Is that the gene that causes the nulls?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all carriers.
Very interesting.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's like supposed to be like what, 1 in 100 million or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so once again, it's a recessive gene, so but you can be a carrier without being affected, but every single one's a carrier.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Thank you for this information.
We had mentioned it last week. I don't think I ever got to it. What, as far as, because we're over the week, we had obviously worked with the Silver Skulls to recover a bunch of stuff. How did that recovery operation? It's still ongoing, but
so that's what I want to talk about next. So you're happy to do your thing with Miriam off screen? Yes.
I think as they walk out the door, Nero says something like, "You know what, Miriam? It's not just that my life is at threat. I now accept that you are a person that I can have lunch and/or dinner with if you ever require social company."
Okay.
End scene. Back to this other scene.
Yep. So we're gonna transition a little bit. So this is a couple of hours ahead in time. So once again, you guys are back together in one of the chambers, along with Kios and your high factotum, going through the results of what's been recovered from the Anvil of War. So there's probably quite a bit of Space Marine hardware there. So they're able to cover 3 Xiphon interceptors. The Cestus assault ram is recoverable. Needs extensive repair because it's been used to penetrate a hull, but it could be recovered and reused. So definitely from that they can determine that the Cestus ram was Dark Angels, and that the ship itself was Iron Warriors. So the Dark Angels definitely attacked the Iron Warriors. along with things like some Space Marine weapons. It's all quite old, but still could be serviced and returned in time. So there's basically two options on the table that are presented, and I'm going to give them to you in mechanical terms. So the first option is that you could give all this stuff over to the Silver Skulls by way of Iridius to find uses for. The outcome of that would be that I would increase by an amount, I'm not going to share with you, the power level that the Silver Skulls will commit to you in any conflict. In addition, it will unlock some additional units they will give. So, for example, they'd be able to use those Zyphon Interceptors, which are not currently on that list for the Space Marines.
Okay, so they would be able to pilot and then explode precious archaeotechnology. Interesting.
The Zyphon Interceptors are still around today. They're rare now, but they are still around today.
Yeah, they still exist.
Yeah, and only Space Marines can pilot them because they require superhuman reflexes to be able to operate.
Yeah, the G's and stuff that they pull, like, it would just kill a regular
pilot. Yeah. Option 2 is that effectively you, through various Imperial channels, through the Mechanicus, through whatever the case may be, is that you realize profit from this stuff. You basically, you sell it into the Imperium, not illegitimately. It's all through legitimate channels. In which case you will increase your profit factor by 8. So the option there is, so either you take the money and run, in which case you'll have eight more PL that you can use for your own Imperial Guard forces, for example, and for other acquisition tests as well, or you take what's in the box, you give it to the Silver Skulls and increase the power level they will provide to you by an amount, along with unlocking additional units.
Well, I've already told the librarian that we were going to help him recover everything that we could.
I also think that letting them have it would be more beneficial.
As far as PL stuff goes, having more power level for Marines and stuff is going to be way better than getting more
for guardsmen. And with like 30, we at least have like 37 or at least 40. That's a pretty decent amount for guardsmen.
Marines are already here, right?
Yeah,
they're not.
Yeah, they have a battle barge in the Expanse. It's not at this planet.
And I would have. Is a librarian here with us as well? Or are you still on?
He's still on board. Yeah.
I would inform the librarian. I mean, granted, he knows most of it already, but I'll tell him the same thing I told the Lord Captain, that I've essentially more or less committed to helping them both here and then any other recovered STC data. Since, like I said, Ryza and you said it earlier and I already forgot it. They're playing the same segmentum, so they're not too far apart. So I've already
Varsavia, you mean?
Varsavia, yeah. So I've already pled their case to give them first dibs on any new shit that we recover from this whole servitor Xenos business. For like, as part of them helping us, we will then return the favor.
We're all in agreement then that's going to go to them?
That'd be more beneficial to us than just raising our profit factor by 8. Okay. It would give us a little bit more guardsman stuff, but
Plus having, scratching the back of some Adeptus Astartes is never bad thing, because like they'll see it as a matter of honor to repay that debt in some way, usually, but we'll see. All right.
So I've updated the Space Marine faction resource sheet in Roll20 for what they'll provide now. So in short, sorry.
Wait, no, I was looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah. So effectively, they brought up to 60 PL total.
So they like doubled their fucking forces. Yeah.
Well, okay. what they'll commit. Well,
yeah, but I'm just saying they essentially doubled their PL in one move. So yeah, I think that was the correct choice.
That was the good choice. Centurion Devastator Squad, Venerable Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, I think we made a good choice there, boys.
So the main thing is they'll provide forces from multiple companies. So there's like Terminators there from the first company, for example, that sort of stuff. So
right. That is much nicer. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the right choice. Plus, it's not just it's honoring something that, I mean, I didn't ask anyone else, but Cyrax already committed to doing that.
We could have a tech marine, and for the first time in a year, Atomic would have someone to talk to.
Is there someone to talk to? I got the Kadashan to talk to now. Like the engineering's like blocked off to everybody but the tech adepts, but she could just waltz right on in there.
You know, I'm telling you, she's got to be an inquisitorial plant.
Well, we just need to send Garth to just mind probe her.
Yeah, we
Really,
do
really
need to
good.
send Garth to mind probe her.
Let's do whatever, but
I immediately comms Garth. Garth, you need to mind probe the new bosun. Make sure she's not an inquisitorial plant.
The problem with that is if she's an inquisitorial plant, there's a very strong possibility she might have some type of psychic mind block in place that he might not be able to get through.
Yeah, but he would at least know that that exists.
Do you want to give it a go?
Sure. I'll give it a go.
In the background of this check, there's people doing like high kicks and moving around on a stage. There's like a fake power sword.
As you watch it, she pretty much calls everyone maggot. You know, she's constantly, it's not bad with a willpower roll, but
Wow.
Roll an 8.
Well, shit.
I'm gonna reroll that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's wise.
No, it's even
Get
worse.
fucked. I like to imagine that you know there's
it's all the noise, all the stuff. The fact she's constantly shouting and people are sort of, you know, sir, yes, sir, and that you're just a bit distracting.
It's like walking over to Nero. It's too loud. Sips a martini.
So one thing you guys might see that it's very, this is the first time you've seen this is this is Cyrax willingly associating with another member of the crew. Like
Yes.
like they'll be like in the mess room and like Cyrax essentially just claims an entire this could probably seat like 50 people, but because he's sitting there, everyone fucks off.
I have a question, James.
Yep.
Can I make a retconned intimidation check for my entire talk with Al-Sabai? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there was some intimidation involved. I just want to see if maybe I got to him.
Only if I can make one back.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I mean, look, it's not that Nero is afraid of him specifically right now, but Nero is afraid of his power for sure. But if you want to make a roll to see if Nero is afraid of him specifically, yeah.
Yep, it's an opposed test. Come on, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Show me what you got.
I mean, I specifically told him my name was Nero the Blade of the Hand of Calixis. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that plus 15.
No worries.
I get a
You
minus...
also get is that the 15 from the Hand of Calixis?
Yes, 15 from the Emperor statue on the front end of the ship. So I get a plus 10 on it total, because I get a minus 5 for it not being combat.
Yep.
And he's not one of my hit enemies. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just fate point that, because unlike everybody else, I haven't fate pointed shit today, so I got plenty of them. Yes.
Okay. So flat success. So
he's a little afraid of me.
That's right. He knows you mean business. I need it.
He's going to send a squad of death watch with him.
Hey,
next time he takes care of me.
I gotta tell you, that would be an impressive way to go out. Like an Inquisitor who's so afraid he needs an entire squad of Death Watch to take out one guy. I mean, come on, yeah, like a temple assassin, sure, but all right.
Yeah. Miriam's going to revise her belief that you may die as a martyr and say you may die killed by someone that should have been your ally.
Oh, this is Warhammer 40K. That
should have an R too. I mean, vastly different.
All right, I think that's probably. I've got the last thing I had on my list still was meeting with the natives, but we might say that for next time. I think it's the end of the hour. So, what do we say? We wrap up and do.
Wow,
do
we almost got through the whole list.
Almost, yeah. Well, I had like 10 vignettes, and some sort of got combined together. So we did pretty good today.
But before we go, James, final interjection.
Yep.
How does the play go?
How does the play? Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So
Does the crews perform?
Exactly. I want to know how the crew does.
Okay, the crew has a skill of 30. So
carouse? No.
Well, I mean, it'd be perform theater.
Perform.
Yeah. So
they're being guided by the expert scripting of Nero the Blade.
Yeah,
he pulled them right out of his twice luck chest.
I got to get Nero an electro whip so he can start beating people.
Do you get anybody else's help, or is it just what
No, I'm like fucking helping transfer
No.
all this.
I mean, Nero. Does Nero give anybody else's help with the play, or you just?
Oh well, yeah. Like I mean, I said I talked to all of the gun captains, right, to get them involved. Are you talking about another?
I also did say I expect the play to be perfect.
Exactly. The Lord Captain knows that it's coming.
Okay, no worries.
So I was giving the crew a +10.
All right. Then so we'll take that. So who wants to roll for the crew?
I will roll for the crew. Nope.
Okay, so
Sid will roll for the crew.
Okay,
Oh,
so
man.
we'll say that
Nero
the
is
total
there.
skill is 40.
So Nero chooses death.
I'm wearing a beret, and I have the first edition of the I Love the Cowles Dynasty t-shirt on. I'm just backstage, like, continuously smacking papers together.
It's like a USO show, really, isn't it?
Being rebroadcast all throughout the ship.
So it's plus.
Just
10,
do a D100. Just do a D100. It's fine. We can see what it is.
Lithograph
Under
broadcast now
40
in
is what we're looking
Technicolor.
I trust you, Sid.
Oh.
You're gonna hit a 35.
Nope.
51.
for. Okay, so
Can we fate point that? I'll do it.
I'll tell you, I will let Nero do a fate point
Yeah,
for this
absolutely.
one. If you want to. Okay, no
I got
worries.
3 more left.
Okay, that's all right. So you can one more roll.
Hey,
Yes!
Hey.
I knew I could trust Sid Alpha.
If the
It's all
if
right.
the morale-
It's the power of the captain. It tells you to do it. It gets done right.
if the morale
totally
wasn't
how
already
that
at 100, well, this is how the morale got to 100. This is the final scene of the week,
The
and that's how we
beatings
got
will
back to 100
continue
morale.
until morale improves.
There's someone who is clearly Nero's self-insert. The final act of the play is just him like being stabbed with a sword. It's just like, I am so honored to die for my Lord Captain. Blood, blood, and
Bunch of
everybody,
squibs.
everybody's like cheering and shouting, and I'm just like, Lord Captain, I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yes, it was perfect. I enjoyed it 100%.
I believe that your intimating that you would be here to watch it is what pushed the success.
I'm glad to hear that.
Lord Valance also lended some directing help, mostly by telling people to move out of the light. They were standing next to him, blocking his sun shining.
Interesting.
I positioned him strategically so that people would know where not to stand during the play.
As
I just
Great.
gestured at Garth, who's like right off screen, sipping on something still. I mean, that's what you're doing, right? You were on like a sun tanning chair, just sipping on
Just
wine.
some one of those web style lawn chairs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
is it a martini with a little umbrella?
Just a little olive, just one
olive.
in there.
I've assigned him the rank of executive producer.
How does Garth
excellent.
take his martini? Is the question. Does he do it dirty?
Oh, shaken, slightly dirty.
Slightly, little dirty. For some reason, Cyrax has a bag of salt and vinegar kettle chips. No one knows where it came from, but he always seems to have some.
All right, James. Sorry for ruining your show once again.
Ruining or improving is the question.
That is a man. I'm gonna get killed by the Inquisition.
I promised crazy at the start of the session.
That's true.
That was all I promised.
That's my secret. I was already crazy.
I really want to kill those beetles.
I still
Let's do
have one.
outros.
I have a dead one.
Yeah. Well, tell us about experience points first.
Yeah, 300.
Okay.
Nice.
I have a second question.
Okay.
What's it going to take for me to get that Miu weapons mount on my body? Like, do I
I
need to have
I
someone
can
make
say-
a surgery?
Yeah, I think that we've, someone can effectively, I don't need to make a roll for this. Someone can effectively take 10. You've got a person lined up to do it. So I'm happy to say that by the end of this week of vignettes, it's done.
Absolutely.
It's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we meet anyone other than the first officer and the chief bosun?
I don't believe, from the player submitted ones, I don't think so. Let's just see. So who we met so far? We mentioned the
there was
Master of the Vox, who's
unnamed
unnamed.
Vox Master. Yeah.
Yeah, we've met the chief bosun. We have not yet met the Cardo artifacts. Master Wizard we met at the previous one.
Mhm.
We haven't met the Twist Catch yet. We've met the first officer. So there's still, I think, three PC or three.
They'll get introduced as we go.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I wanted to ask a question of everyone as well, because so we've now got all the character descriptions in. The artist is working on the final picture, which is Garth. AP can no longer hold his picture to ransom because he now has the MIU weapon now.
Oh my god.
Although I want to point out though, in the picture that we got done of Pierre, the guy opted to put a cyber hand in, which Pierre doesn't have. So, maybe I've got to blow Pierre's hand off before we can show the.
I was just going to say it was a specially made fancy gauntlet glove.
Okay,
deal.
nice. There you go.
And then we can always, if he gets his hand does get blown off in the future, you can say it's cybernetic at that point.
It's a fancy little glove, so you can take it off and slap people with it.
I really like the art style, and I was actually thinking about trying to say to the audience, is there a particular NPC that we'd particularly like to see art of? Because I would like to myself commission an NPC artwork from the guy.
As soon as you do that, he's gonna fucking die. You know it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like I mean, my first inclination would be like Miriam, but then there's other people might have had other favorite characters, for example.
Here's the thing. Could you see if rather than doing, let's say, a full body, what if they just did you did maybe like a bust of like, I don't know, like, one or two or whatever, instead of doing, the whole.
Yeah, I could ask. I'm not sure. Yeah,
I'd 100% be down with Miriam. I want to know what I'm getting into when I'm having dinner with her. I'm still TikToking between she saved my life and I just want to murder her so badly.
That happens. As you do.
So you're
it happens in anime. Yeah.
So you're the mix
happens in more than
between
that.
Kill and marry, essentially. Look, with her, it sounds like.
I just want to point out.
Are you saying you're playing Fuck, Marry, Kill with her?
I got 2 BattleTech shows, turned both of them into dating simulators. Managed to turn this show into not one, but 2 dating simulators at the same time. Like,
how did you turn our BattleTech show into a dating simulator? I don't recall any of this.
Oh, you were there, bro. Might I remind you of a young woman named Crimson?
There was no dating involved. It was just straight abuse.
The audience believed that there was, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Hey, when I was organized to come on as a guest, I was straight up like, "Hey, would your NPC hook up with this other NPC before you come on the show and guest?"
Yeah. Billy Wyndham Williamson IV. Look, man, I'm out here turning grim, dark, post-apocalyptic sci-fi universes into dating simulators. That's on brand.
That's half of what the Cypress Kane series is as a dating simulator.
Is Nero the tsundere? I don't know. That's a difficult question. I mean, normally the only thing he dates is hospitalers, and that's way easier. I just tell him I want to show him my scars. All right. Sid Alpha, what do you got for us? Let's do that outro.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun tonight, swilling martinis and generally making a tomfool of myself, as it generally tends to happen. I should have more videos coming out on my YouTube channel here, coming over the course of the next few days, and we'll be back on Thursday for more BattleTech. That's it. A lot of day job stuff too.
Interesting.
Not really.
No. The interesting thing is, I'm just like, what can we do to get Garth more involved? And he's always just like, martinis. I make a phone call. We need to get him to the point
from wine into martinis.
Yeah, we need to get to the point where we're allowed to kill NPCs, and then we just let Sid go ham with the mind bullets. Yeah,
I mean, I was thinking about using compel or something to fuck with the play, but.
Wow, why would you ruin this for me?
As soon as AP talks about killing NPCs, I just immediately have Night City flashbacks. I'm just like,
listen, man, I may be the master, but
we don't have
Sid Alpha is a second master. There's no rule of 2 in this universe.
We got to fill all of the crew slots before we can start killing people off.
Using psychic powers for shits and giggles as well as how you get demons.
It just takes takes one bad roll, like it can happen. I've seen it happen. It's just
all of a sudden a demon possesses one of the actors.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have a picture of Cephas Kane being tsundere. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, he's in a relationship with Amberly Vale.
I don't know what that is.
She's an inquisitor. She writes
a relationship. It's been 2 people.
She's the one who is essentially has pulled his memoirs from the archive and like clean them up for publication. Like she puts notes at the ends of like all the chapters and pages and stuff.
Okay.
It's like the OG 40K romance.
I gotta figure out a way to get Sid Alpha more active at killing NPCs. I don't know. Could you like mind wipe the Inquisitor? Is that a power you have yet?
It's got a force sword and just stab people.
Well, yeah, but we're trying to do it in a way
No
that...
one expects the Astropath to shank someone.
All right, Pondo, let's see your outro.
I am Pondo or Pondo the Mad. You can catch me on YouTube or Twitch/Pondo the Mad, or you can catch me here on Thursday nights with Sid with BattleTech, or you can catch me on whenever Board Cult is alive, or you can come over to my channel and watch Hunters of Oliver, the 5e Gestalt game on my own personal channel. It is Atomic is in that as well, so and yeah. I am looking forward to the further developments of this show and how we can get everything. Because I feel like as soon as we get the other like hard pieces needed for the other colonies, they're going to grow again and need something else. But damn it, we just fixed that.
Well, the thing about Rogue Trader is once you get like 10 sessions in, it's essentially you're playing the spinning plate game where you've got more shit going on, and it's kind of like you have to just delegate, to keep from breaking plates.
I wanted to observe at the start of the game actually that like, because this whole idea of Rogue Trader is a sandbox game, but I've still put a storyline in there. But right now, you guys have gone to Riverwood, you've gone to Windhelm, you've killed the dragon, you're on the way up the mountain to see the Greybeards, and you still haven't done a side quest yet. So
yeah, look, man, I tried to side quest immediately. I was like, let's go to the Heathen Stars, and everyone was like, no, let's handle what's happening here, and I'm like, okay.
I think we will be going over to the Solitude.
Oh, we're gonna go deal with that rebellion?
Yeah.
That's right up my alley. Unless we talk to them. Ugh, jeez. Ugh.
We tried talking first, then we purge.
Can we just make purging plan A?
I was gonna say, this is why the Inquisition is so effective and why we're not.
Let's just make purging plan A. I mean, there's element of surprise, whatever.
Look, we'll negotiate with them, but only if they stop using unions.
We have an army. We have a Nero.
We have an army and a Nero.
That's true.
Boom.
No, we do not have an army. No.
I think we have a decent amount that we could delegate to it.
I don't think that the Silver Skulls are going to follow us.
No, I mean, as far as our own armsmen.
Follow us? No, but could they be convinced? Maybe.
Crew.
Space Marines like stuff just as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that you can't convince things of, Atomic.
This is true. I am stubborn as hell. So I'm Atomic Warsmith. Catch my Twitch.tv/Atomic Warsmith when I stream stuff, which I will at some point. Barely play any games right now because my hand sucks. I can operate like 4 keys, and that's about it. Catch me on Wednesday with always the New Game Plus, which hopefully now that a lot of this stuff is, I would say, calming down, but it seems a lot of people's schedules are becoming more regular, versus just all over the place. So hopefully we'll get to do that. And then obviously here on Saturdays for these fine gentlemen, and then over on Ponder's channel on Sundays for our 5e Gestalt game, where we're either hunting monsters or criminals. It's kind of just depends on what we feel like at the time, but it's a pretty chill game. We get sidetracked very easily. It's maybe partially or totally my fault. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's it.
It's actually my fault because I do stalling for planning.
Yeah. You also let us just ramble, and it's tell us to shut the fuck up. It's fine. It's chill.
Okay. James, what you got?
I had a fun time tonight. It was nice to capstone a whole weekend of 40K with the 9th edition announcement and then playing this game. I will be around this week and back on next week for the next show. Just a quiet week and catch some more shows live. I'm not going back to physically work in my office anytime before the end of June, so great time to catch up on shows. And last week was my month's end for work, so this should be a nice quiet week, I hope. Fingers crossed. I'll probably jinxed it now, though. Well, so maybe get some more Final Fantasy 7 played. I will definitely record a podcast this week, though. There's been enough news that I've got to put a podcast out. So
yeah.
I'd hope you have enough news at this point.
Yeah, and my co-host is on holidays as well. He's off work for 2 weeks, so I've got to make use of that time. Because he's a shift worker, it's hard to get sometimes.
Yeah. Well, plus everybody's shifts just been getting thrown all over the place. Like that's what the problem with like our Wednesday game is it's like, because what was it? Spoon had like, they're like, oh, this is your schedule. And then like a week later, there's like, oh no, we're going to completely flip that on its head. And it's just like, it's just.
The one other thing I will say is that I've been trying to catch up with the girl I wanted to use, the voice actress I wanted to use to do some pre-recordings for this show, for some stuff that Lady Cowles had previously recorded. And I had a chat with her on Friday, and she's good. I just couldn't organize it for this week, but I'll try and sort her out this weekend. So I've got some.
You're gonna. Sorry.
What do we get when we collect all the audio logs?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna insert like Fallout style audio logs that we have to collectible.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
Angelique Lucia Cowles, the audio log.
There'll be an achievement for getting all of them as well. So
I mean, hey, we have a use for achievement points. So
I was gonna say, is the achievement that we get to listen to all of the bloopers reels?
Look, I don't give a fuck about collectibles unless I get something from it. Right? Like I'm running around.
It's handy that she's a professional actress who has an English accent and likes 40K.
How convenient.
That does work.
Yeah. So that's good.
All right. My outro is I was gonna make Nero more serious, but now I think maybe he's a little suicidal.
He needs some chill in his life.
It's more than
I think
a
it's
little
both
at
at the
this point.
same time. I think he's more serious, but he also has realized that even this cannot kill him.
It's a dangerous game.
I know.
So he has a death wish, essentially. is
To
what I'm
double
hearing.
down, I took True Grit, which means when I take critical damage, I only take half rounded up. So it's going to be a lot harder to deal crits to me now, which is good because I intend to take a lot of crits.
A lot of lookout, sirs.
I took barter. I was considering taking blather, but I took barter because apparently I need that.
I took universal training pistol, so they can now
Look, you talk
wield
about
both a power axe and a plasma pistol at the same time.
Okay, that's good. Look, you talk about blather all the time. It's time to just, finish. Just do it. Just invest.
Maybe next time. I don't have
Miriam's
enough
got
XP.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
She beat me to it.
Anything you say about Miriam, I'm immediately gonna be like, how can I insult her in the next sentence? Sid, what are you getting?
Oh, I have no idea.
All right, Sid has no idea. All
I
right.
mean, my powers are already chosen for this level, so there'll be more just stat stuff.
Yeah, once I'm done with my talents, I'm going to start investing heavily in willpower, which is incredibly expensive. Because I want people to stop getting in my mind and telling me to do things. It's very annoying.
Especially as I'm increasing my abilities to be able to get into people's minds and tell them to do things.
Let me tell you something. I fought off a brother librarian, okay? You ain't shit compared to that. That was scary.
I mean, I was able to mind read him just fine.
Yeah,
so.
well, that's, you know what? Okay. I don't have a comeback for that because you're correct. That is the thing you did. But I also resisted him. Everybody's good for next week?
Yep.
All right. Who knows what we're going to do? I'm just glad that James... Well, I'm just glad, James, that we got through 95% of the content that you thought we were going to get through this week.
90%. I had 10 scenes, you did 9.
Excellent. Wow, that's way more than I normally do.
Yeah, it's better than the 40% you've had in previous shows.
Yeah, I know. And I intentionally took us sidetracked in the whole second half, constantly. Went out of my way to do it. All right, we'll be back next week. More sidetracking. More, I don't know, Cyrax.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, Cyrax shenanigans have been strong lately. I mean, invest heavily in that market.
Mecha shenanigans.